All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Khris. I'm the executive director of the Tucson Jazz Festival. With me here today is the amazing Caity George and Gunhild Carling. There's a microphone right there for you to talk into.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So we're gonna get right into it, and I want to ask you guys some questions and get to have the crowd get to know you a little bit. And I love that you're doing that, commemorating in time. Hey, what's going on? That's all right. So let's start with you, Caity. Tell us where you're from. Give us your first jazz inspiration.
Well, I am Canadian. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm currently living in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, also. And I think my first jazz inspiration was probably Ella Fitzgerald, but specifically hearing her solo scat sing on the Blue Skies recording from the Irving Berlin songbook. So I think that's what really hooked me into the music.
Oh, that's so fun. That's like one of my favorites of all time, too.
Oh, it's so good.
Do you know every chorus of her scat?
Yes, since I was 17.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think she did, how many courses did she do? 3 on that, or 4?
3 or 4.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right. I've played that one several times myself. I can't scat, but because that's not my talent. And Gunhild, tell us about yourself and your first jazz inspiration.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gunhild Carling, and I am originally from Sweden. And I have loved jazz and the aesthetic around jazz all my life. So I think my first shock might have been Billie Holiday's "Strange Fruit" when I was 6 or 5 years old or something.
Wow.
And then I remembered I was in shock when I heard Bix Beiderbecke, but then I was like 8 or something like that. Then I'm listening to Duke Ellington and his Washingtonians, the Cotton Club Band. This, East St. Louis Toodaloo and all these songs, Black Beauty, and all this. That I've listened a lot to that, and then around 1920s, and then Billie Holiday, Lester Young, Teddy Wilson, Armstrong is maybe the one that has influenced me the most. It's very much Armstrong in everything I do.
Yeah, you hear that in your playing too. So both of you guys have I find similarities in your art, and both of what you guys do beckon back to like the Great American Songbook and the early jazz and traditional jazz, or trad jazz as we say. And I could feel when you were talking about Strange Fruit, even at 5 or 6, even though you may not have understood what the song was about, that it touched you in some way. So I'm curious as to why this era of jazz, like why and how it inspires you. Gunhild, why don't you go first?
It's an easy one. The melodies, the lyrics, the chord progressions, and the energy, and the freedom, just to mention 5 things that no other music has.
I agree. Caity?
I kind of have to say the same things. I was going to say, the melody, the lyrics, the harmonic structure of a lot of the songs. I'm very inspired by the fact that a lot of the music comes from show tunes. And, I think the whole idea of sort of not recycling, but maybe upcycling these songs and turning them into something new and improvising over them is a huge part of the music. And it's very, very unique to the genre, and that's kind of why I love it.
So, let's talk about the lyrics. So both of you guys, do standards, right, covers of songs, but you also write your own music, and you both have your own take on how you write your own music. I love both of your original music just wildly well. So, how does one inform the other, Caity? Or what are inspirations that you get when you write music, like the lyrics or the tunes or the melodies, or like what is your inspiration?
Well, the melodies are definitely, the melodies and the harmony are inspired by the songbook standards that I know. I know hundreds and hundreds of tunes, as I'm sure Gunhild does as well. And it's, I think, important to study those kinds of things in order to be able to write your own. The lyrics for me come from a lot of my own personal experiences, or like I'm inspired by books and movies, and but very much about my life. So a lot of my music is very, very personal. If you're coming to my show tonight, then you'll get all the drama from the last year and a half of my life. It's going to be great. But I think, honestly, like I know quite a lot of standards, and I have become familiar with the harmony and sort of the ability for the melodies to match and marry the harmony beautifully. And I try to do that within my own writing, is to kind of create a beautiful marriage between melody and harmony. One without the other is fine, but to have both together is ideal.
What inspires you to write your own music, Gunhild?
So songwriting is like before Beatles, the Beatles, is an actual profession. So you can, it is like a thing, you start with an introduction, then you have a theme that you repeat that theme, then comes a bridge, maybe in a new key, then you go back to the first theme again. Now you have a little transportation theme, and then a new key, a verse, then you have a little build up, and the singer comes in. Okay. So it's like it has like it's a thing, it's a real thing to be a songwriter. And then be a songwriter, and there shall be, if it's the like if it's real Great American Songbook style, it shall be true rhymes. You don't rhyme phone, I'm home, waiting for the phone. That's not a true rhyme. It's like similar. So true rhymes, it's only the 5 big, like Berlin and Porter, Kerm, you know, the 5 big that always, they never go away from its true rhyme. And it's also, so when the melody says, da-ba-doo-dee-da, then you say, I'm sad and lonely, but now I'm full of hope, they did. So steps and ranges have a certain saying, and this goes back to Romantic era and 19th century Europe, that they studied a lot of, if you go up a third, if you go up a fourth, how do you feel then? Up a sixth, then it's like you feel inflated with hope, and so, you know, like so. It's a lot of things, inspires me, but most of all, I just write one song a day, love songs. I write about true love. They can be naughty, but it should be like, must be like true love. That's it. True rhymes and true love. That's two very good things, and a good melody. And then on top of that, imagine that you can write a song that everybody recognizes and say, that was a good song. That's next step. I'm not there yet, but it's coming.
I think you are.
I beg to differ that you're not there yet.
No, I was just joking. I'm there.
But you write things without lyrics too. How do you get that sense of feeling out of your instrument? And I know you have instruments right here, so I'm willing to listen if you can show it to us as well.
Yeah, short about, I'm writing for bands a lot. So I have a New Orleans type band at home, because I have a speakeasy in my basement, so it's very secret where it is. I'm not telling it, but it's in California. I have clarinet, trombone, trumpet, and I have like everything's New Orleans style, kind of. So I'm writing, I write my last song, okay? My latest. That is of the verse. And then if you are a composer and have a band in New Orleans style, I don't know, here in the audience, the theme where the musicians shall solo, don't make it too complicated. Do it like 2-5, 2-5-1, like not too many billion chords, because so they can show off. If they are on a very high level, they love to show off. But it shall also be nice. You shall feel like you shall enjoy the day and the sunshine. So not make it too complicated. 3, 4 chords.
Yeah, you definitely have a feel and a flair to it. So, Caity, I couldn't help but see that your eyes lighting up as she was playing, and we all interpret music as we're hearing it, and we see shapes, colors, words, or whatnot. I'd be interested to hear what was lighting up inside your head as you heard Gunhild playing that melody.
Oh, well, her tone is gorgeous, and it's straight language. I mean, what I love about it is that I can tell exactly the harmony that you have set out for this song based on the melody that you've played for the verse of the tune, because it's outlined just so beautifully, but not in an academic way, like in a very natural way. And I think that is an incredibly challenging thing to do, because it sounds like a melody to me. It doesn't sound like an etude or anything. It sounds like a melody. But I know. Thank you. Oh, no. Okay.
Just use that one.
Okay. I can tell the exact harmony that you are intending because of the melody is so strong.
So I say likewise to you, not because you're sitting here. I'm actually really, really from my heart surprised how good your songwriting is, and how interesting. And that is the thing. It shall be super witty and wise and intellectual. So, but you shall never show it off. It shall be nice and natural. So that is the thing, yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, well, it's the same it's just quite a lot of adoration here. I wanted to mention that Gunhild and we toured with Postmodern Jukebox in November and December of 2022. And I think we were the only 2 people on that tour that actually enjoyed swing music. And that we're listening to it all the time, and so it was really wonderful to get to know you now, and I'm just happy to be here, and it's lovely to hear you say all those nice things. So thank you.
Wow. So, Caity, earlier today we were talking, and you shared this wonderful story of your last day on tour with Gunhild and what happened at the theater. Could you share that story? I thought it was wonderful.
We were in Red Bank at the Count Basie Theater.
I never forget that.
And the power went off because there was a terrible winter storm. And you and I were in our dressing room, and you had brought out your ukulele, and we were just singing tunes together. And
it's a fantastic thing. I wish I had
the
brought
dark.
it here so we could just sing. Pick a song, call a tune.
And the emergency lights were sort of on in the stairwell, but it was completely dark in our dressing room, and it was just you and I singing, and it was really fun. That was a great last day of tour. The show was canceled, but not this show.
I think oftentimes our best performances aren't in front of a crowd necessarily, right? We're inspired through each other, or just amongst our bandmates, and we're enriching our souls. And it sounds like that's what happened there in that moment. You had a special moment in time because of a weird circumstance, but you were able to share a higher language with each other because you both feel the world and music in a different space than probably what most people who aren't artists do, and that's really special that you're able to do that.
I would add something to the composing that, to me, maybe to you and all you as well. So rhythm is religion. So you must be in the beat, like dap do dap do da da. So when you have that, it's like a trance. Then form is also kind of religious. You feel when it's right, but you can not explain why it's right. You just feel it. So form, shape, is something very difficult. You shall not overthink it. You shall just, when you compose a song, don't put more time into it than 20 seconds. That is my thing. What is your take on that? 21.
21. Yeah, no.
21.
No, I usually compose in 20 minutes,
20
like the
minutes,
song. That's typically around how long it takes me to get melody lyrics. But I mean, if we're talking about form, if we're talking about maybe like an A form, you know, you've got your 2 A's, or you've got your A, then that's 75% of the song done. And then you got to find your B, and then the lyrics, and I don't know, like 20 seconds to write a song?
No, I didn't find that out. It's what everybody say. And I also know it's true that what comes natural to you, when I sing it for you, it will come natural to you. And that will take 20 seconds. Something about it. It can take 20 days as well, actually. Also.
I think it varies for me. I'm not sure.
It varies, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've heard the inception of Hello, I Love You. No, not that one. Your song, Caity.
Mine?
Yes.
Oh, Hello, How Are You?
Hello, how are you?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm not going to, I believe I know the story. Could you tell how the melody to that one came about?
Yeah, this one I completely improvised. I was trying to make a video for social media, and so I was hanging out with this drummer, and I asked him to play just like, can you give me like a 4/4 time feel with your brushes on the snare pad, and I'm just gonna try and improvise a song. And so I filmed it on my phone, and it was 2 minutes and 27 seconds long, but I came up with the whole song like, hello, how are you? I'd really like to know. Hello, how are you? I'd really like to go for a night on the town with a guy just like you. So hello, how are you? How do you do? And then it went on, and I got most of the... Oh, thank you. You should hear with the band. I kind of kept going, and I sort of started improvising something. And the first improvised line I did was... And then I did something a little bit different for the next section. But then I came back, because I liked that initial melody I improvised. I turned that into a shout chorus that starts off the solo section. And so the whole song was improvised in 2 minutes, but most of the lyrics were done, and the shout chorus was done. So really all I needed to do from there was, and I knew exactly the harmony that I wanted based on the melody that I'd sung, like, hello, how are you? 1 1 1 1 1. Hello, how are you? I'd really like to know. And then I did 1 1 1 1 7 7 7 7 1 1 1 1. Hello, how are you? I'd really like to go. And then we've got do do dum 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 dum. So I can hear the bass line in my head. So then from there I go to the piano, figure it out, put it into music notation software, and the song is born.
Yeah.
So, Caity, I know from my experience that you just blew people's minds away with how you did that and explained that. And it's natural to you because it makes sense. But I also know that, like, people, wow, that's how musicians think. And, like, what is going on in there? But I think it's beautiful to hear that as well, because we always talk about music being a different language, right? There's a lot going on up here, and it's not just randomness. Like there's feeling behind it, but we understand to some degree. We all do. We understand how the number system work, and how, as Gunhild alluded to, like, hey, when you do a certain interval, when you're singing here, it creates a certain feeling within you, and when you want to take a line, now in the hands of a lesser person, it sounds very mechanical. I've listened to a lot of university students try to compose, and they're following all the rules, and there's no compassion to it. There's nothing there. There's no heart. There's no soul to it. So you have to put it in the hands of a true artist, just what we heard Gunhild playing her newest song. What was that, yesterday's song?
Yeah, it was yesterday's song.
Yesterday's song, yeah. There'll be another song today at some point, maybe before we're done. And same with you, right? It was in an inspirational moment that oh yeah, I can hear the bass, I can hear where the line's going, I hear the harmony going, and that's just really fascinating to hear that process played out. Yeah, so thank you for that.
Thanks for a very good idea.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking like you are fantastic. And you too.
Oh,
Can you thank Khris? Okay, so I am here because I was sitting in Sweden and I had this gig in Copenhagen, and my brother came to me and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we forgot to call a piano player. So there is no piano player. Is there a drummer?" No, I have forgot to call a drummer as well. Okay, who is coming? It's technically you alone. Okay, so I went through my telephone like a piano player, and your name came up. So I just wrote, "Hey, how are you?" And then I was searching. I know you're in Tucson and not in Copenhagen. Like,
no, it wasn't. Yeah.
But then you wrote back, same second, I'm good. Do you want to come back to Tucson? Yes, pencil me in. And then we were fine. So that was it. Like when you write a song, 20 seconds you agree on something, and then you take all the practical stuff. They take months. Send the song to an arranger, have it recorded with a big band in a studio. You, on your end, you rent a theater, have thousands of flyers out, go to the radio and the newspaper. Hey, everybody who did a podcast like now, talk to everybody. And on both ends, we work, and now, here comes the show tomorrow.
That's a lot of bang zoom, Gunhild. I love how your brain works. Yeah, and yeah, we got her here this year, but our original story goes back to 2016. Is that correct? Is that what the year you said it was? 2016. And a good friend of ours, Stuart, he talked to me. He goes, "Oh, I found Gunhild Carling." And he showed me some videos of you, and like, wow, she's amazing. She just played for the King of Sweden, and like, how are we going to get her to come to America? He goes, I'm going to figure it out, and so he did. He got a visa. He presents stuff in Austin, and said, Khris, in order to get her out here, she has to do a couple gigs. Can you present her in Tucson? And I was like, well, heck yeah, we should do that. And so 5 seconds later, after a little bit of work, we brought in 2016, we brought Gunhild to America for the first time, and her first gig in the United States, is this correct? Was right here in Tucson at the Fox Theater where she's playing tomorrow. Yeah. And 8 years later, she's played 6,000 gigs in America since then. Is that what it is? Probably.
Yeah, there is like, it's fantastic.
What is you play fast swing, slow swing, love songs, ragtime, real trad jazz, New Orleans jazz. I mean, you both kind of fall into that. What's your go-to? What's your favorite composer, favorite type of song? If you're just like, let's just do this. Like, what's your lead?
If you ask me, best question ever. I was asking myself that 1 month ago, because I can play anything. I can play this and that, and I can play high notes, low notes. I mean, not to brag. I could possibly do that. And my daughter said, you have to go back to Bix Beiderbecke, because I think that is where your root is. And I think is Armstrong, Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Duke Ellington, there. And Bix Beiderbecke. It's an impressionistic jazz musician that lived in the Chicago style, Chicago-Detroit in the 1920s. So it was like party around the clock, and he died when he was 28. But he composed very beautiful music.
What does he sound like?
He played cornet. Okay.
could see why Eden said that. That resonates with you. I mean, every music, like you said, resonates with you. You make it your own, but there's something special happening there.
I must pass on this question to you. It's interesting to know what is your true love story with who is that? With which musician or singer?
That's a tough question. I think I'm inspired by many different people in the industry, and for different reasons though. Like for vocals right now, for me, the absolute top is Frank Sinatra, and I absolutely adore how his timing and just how he delivers a lyric. I went shopping on 4th Avenue yesterday and went to a record store and got one of my favorite Frank records, which I don't have yet, Where Are You? And I think that is that Don Costa arrangements, maybe? Anyways, I'm a big fan of the whole arranging aspect as well, though I don't arrange for any big, large ensembles, just my small group. But Frank Sinatra for delivering a melody, Sonny Stitt for improvising, and I say Sonny Stitt just because I do love Charlie Parker as well, and I know that a lot will compare Sonny Stitt to Charlie Parker. I think there is a big difference when you've listened to enough Stitt, as I have. But Sonny Stitt has his timing is so clear. His language is the language that he plays, and when I say language, I mean sort of like it's very similar to the bebop language. He's playing musical notes and phrases that Charlie Parker would play, but I find that Sonny Stitt has sort of a little bit more sarcasm to his playing, a little bit more grit that I really he's hanging more. I love his time feel, and everything that he does is so clear, and I like that clarity and the intention behind the music. And then when it comes to lyrics and composition, I think my favorite lyricist is Dorothy Fields, because she's so incredibly clever and witty, and she came up with the best true rhymes. And I did a project on her when I was doing my master's degree, and I did a lot of analysis of her lyrics, and I think for me the whole idea of wit and sarcasm and cleverness is above all else. I think if something can be a little bit humorous, even if it's depressing or about love, then I'm going to enjoy that. And so that's what I take a lot of inspiration in with my own writing. And I mean, I love composers as well, like Jerome Kern. I'm a big fan of his use of harmony. Cole Porter as well, the long form. I love that. And Frank Lesser is one that I've been into a lot recently as well, another wonderful lyricist. But there's so many different people, it's hard to choose just one, but for different aspects, like for me, like Sinatra, Sonny Stitt, Dorothy Fields, those are, I think, people that I really, really look up to. Yeah.
Wow. So both of you guys were talking and performing about very inspirational things, and as you guys were talking, we had one of the most inspirational skies happening behind you. It's still pretty. It's still pretty gorgeous back there. Oh. Yeah, that only happens in Tucson, folks. Yeah, so you guys are really fortunate. So one unifying thing I always hear in great artists, and both of you guys have exemplified that, is how much you've listened to the people that came before you and the people that surround you now. You go through a list. Well, I love this. That both of you guys, and any artist I've ever talked to, and great listeners like yourselves that are here and listening online. It's when you take the time to listen, great things happen from both sides of the stage. You know, as a listener, taking in music either live or recorded, or as a performer. Yeah.
Just a side note. When we play together, so I play a phrase, ba-ba-ba-oo-da-da. And then I have to listen in what the others are doing, because I'm going to build on when you play piano or you sing. Or so. Okay, so she's singing that. All right, but then I build on that. So listening is like 50% of your playing, because you must know where is the beat, because you have a drive. But you have to listen where they are, so you have your flow on the band's drive, but you shall drive yourself. So listening is 50%.
Would you two be willing to do that?
To each other
To
or
each
to
other?
you?
No, just to do
Yeah,
something
yeah,
back
we
and forth,
to-
just listening to each other. Yeah, just talk to
Totally.
each other in music.
Totally.
After you, Maestra.
Okay, shall I start scat?
Sure.
Down.
So who better did and do better than did you? Yeah, bada 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 do bada bada Shut
I could listen to you guys talk to each other all day long. I think the rest of us could too. I think we're going to wrap up here because Caity has a show to do here relatively soon, and
sold out show.
show.
My goodness,
And-
it's you and Elvis Presley.
And the two of them are doing a show tomorrow. Very few tickets left to that as well.
If it's not sold out, I have to buy all the.
So can you leave us with one last thing that you might want to say about your art form or anything to the music?
Yeah, I would say what unite all of us listeners, organizer. You are a musician, very good musician as well, and conductor, but now as an organizer, musician, singer, artist, composer, whatever it is, you must be brave and believe in what you do. Because, you shall go out there and nail up 1,000 posters. Imagine if you are a little, nah, not me, I don't dare. You never dare to do it, because I have been doing that work as well. To go up on stage and play this trumpet solo, compose a song and believe that you're not ashamed of the lyrics or the melody. Whoa, what shall people think? And you come here and listen, because I want to listen to this. We don't ask others what you think I should do. We follow our inner voice. Long story short, believe in yourself.
I love it. And Caity?
That is very good advice. I think one thing that I always tell people that, especially like students that ask me about the music, I say you have to listen to what came before. And there's so many wonderful players that are, out on the scene today, and it's important to go out and support live music, absolutely. But I think it's also incredibly important to understand where the music has come from, and I'm not just it didn't start in the 60s. It started despite what some of my friends think. I'm kidding. But I think it's important to understand the history of the music, and to show respect to where things came from, and an understanding of how things developed. Because when you understand, where things came from, you have a better way of, getting your own message across, because you've learned the message of what came before.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gunhild Carling, Caity George.
Thank you for coming here and listening to our talk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you at the next TJF event.